What's another year? 1984, New Year, and suddenly everyone's wearing oversized Frankie Says Relax t-shirts. It's like a uniform. Relax gets banned by the BBC. Mike Reid calls it obscene, which of course makes every kid in Britain want it even more. A new Bay City roller arrived in the 80s. This time she's called Madonna. She actually appeared live once on Top of the Pops, doing Holiday. Fiction Factory and Icicle Works were enjoying their only hits, while Cyndi Lauper arrived looking like an explosion in a Dulux factory. Girls Just Want to Have Fun was kept off number one by the potty-mouthed Frankies. Mike Reid couldn't believe what he'd started. February and breakdancing arrives in Britain like an alien invasion. Cardboard appears on pavements, lads in Pringle jumpers and tracksuits attempting windmills. The only thing they managed to pull is a muscle. Torval and Dean didn't just win gold for ice skating, they absolutely bullied the laws of gravity. They glided onto the rink like, we'll just do a nice little routine, and 5 minutes later the judges were crying. By the time they finished Bolero, the gold medal wasn't even a decision. It practically leapt off the podium, skated over and put itself around their necks. Auf Wiedersehen Pet was massive on the TV. Scouser Joe Fagin belted out the theme tune, That's Living Alright. Lesnick Kershaw, more your mate's dad who's had 7 pints, rolled up his sleeves and made a shouty noise. Nena finally knocked Relax off number one after 5 weeks. 99 red balloons and everyone was focused on Cold War paranoia. But the other half of the audience was distracted thinking, forget the balloons, those armpits are declaring an independence of their own. March 1984, when the miners' strike kicked off. It was picket lines and chants of scab, scab, scab. The National Union of Mine Workers came armed with banners, fury and sandwiches. The government came armed with police. UK barbers suddenly under pressure from teenagers. Everyone wants something like, a bit like Howard Jones, or a bit like Tom Bailey, please. Barbers deliver the same haircut they've done since 1973. Leslie Crowther urges overhyped contestants to come on down, the price is right. It was the only place where grown adults would lose all dignity over a toaster, scream like they'd won the lottery for a set of saucepans, and treat guessing the price of a washing machine like high-stakes international diplomacy. Also in March, pop group Matt Bianco infamously appeared on BBC One's Saturday Superstore, when a young lad called Simon verbally abuses them live on air. In hindsight, I was sorry I called.
You're through to Matt Bianco.
Hello, Matt Bianco.
Hello,
You're a bunch of wankers.
April and Tommy Cooper's death on stage is one of those moments we'll never forget. He was 63, performing on Live from Her Majesty's, when he collapsed. Much of the audience and viewers at home initially thought it was part of the act. People laughed, waiting for the punchline. The broadcast cut away to Les Dennis and Dustin G, while medics tried to revive him. It remains one of the most surreal and saddening events in British entertainment history. A comedian whose life work was laughter, leaving the stage in a moment when the audience didn't yet know the joke had ended. The local video rental shop is booming. 3 walls of films you're not allowed to watch. The Terminator, Evil Dead, anything with an 18 certificate or a screaming face on the box. You go home with Annie instead, again. May, someone at school gets a ZX Spectrum and instantly becomes the most popular human alive. Games took 14 minutes to load, crash at the last second, whole afternoon, gone. If Tommy Cooper's onstage death felt surreal, Eric Morecambe's felt like a favourite song ending mid-note. Morecambe and Wise weren't just successful, they were ritual. Christmas specials that stopped the nation, sketches quoted in playgrounds, pubs and Parliament. That sideways grin, the glasses, the pipe, the little dance. It all came to an end. Cilla Black hosts Surprise Surprise for the first time, when the only surprise was how many relatives people had living in Australia. and how they were all emotionally ambushed on British TV before they even had a chance to recover from jet lag. In London, the Queen opened the long-awaited flood defences. Even they couldn't stop the torrent of bloody Agadoo being released by the never-popular Black Lace. June and playground currency shifts to football stickers. You've got 7 blinking Glenn Hoddles, you've got 4 Graham Sounasses, and 1 shiny one you refuse to trade even under threat. Phrase of the month, got, need, need. Frankie were back, this time straight in at number 1 with 2 tribes. Lots of air raid sirens and leather harnesses. Mike Reid loses the will to live. When lightning hit York Minster's roof, even the heavens seemed to realise they'd picked the one building where everyone would notice the insurance claim. July and pop still rules. Nick Kershaw, Howard Jones, Alison Moyet, synths everywhere. Tina Turner's comeback continues. Meanwhile, Neil from the Young Ones' Hello Shoes was still wandering around wailing about a hole in his shoe, whilst Tina was strutting to global superstardom in heels. August, holiday postcards and rain. The British seaside holiday. Sand in sandwiches. Dad on the beach insisting it's warm once you get in the water. It never was. Postcards sent saying having a lovely time during horizontal rain. Ice pops cost 8p and taste faintly of chemicals. Leg warmers for £5. Give some of those to your dad's drunk scouse mate. Shell suit, $39.99. How much? Walkman, 60 quid. Half a week's wages to listen to Scritti Politti. Pah. September is when Prince Harry is born. The palace said finally, we've got an heir and a spare. Which sounds less like a birth and more like they just bought a royal tyre in case the monarchy got a puncture on the way to Balmoral. Back to school means new pencil case and new smelly rubbers. Someone brings in a digital watch that plays tunes. Whole class gathers round like it's NASA technology. Casio beeps through corridors and classrooms until confiscated. Tony Blackburn, the first voice heard on Radio 1, presents his final show for the station. No more Durran for you, mate.
We have a new entry at number 26 from Durran.
Also on the radio, the first edition of the Network Chart Show in August 1984, hosted by David Kid Jensen. It doesn't seem authentic compared to the BBC one, and soon gets referred to as the Notwork Chart Show. October and Thursday nights on Top of the Pops went very camp. Frankie Goes to Hollywood performing like dystopian sailors. Bronski Beat making pop emotional. Wham looking like they're having more fun than legally allowed. Drag Queen Divine, Hazel Dean's gay anthems, Evelyn Thomas's high energy, It's Raining Men. Another queen dragged up. There's Freddie with a Hoover. Know what he needs, don't you? One of those Kirby vacuum cleaners. That's better, my friend. October continues when Thomas the Tank Engine first rolled onto TV with Ringo Starr narrating. It was the only time a Beatle went from stadiums full of screaming fans to calmly explaining why a train was a very cheeky engine. Somewhere, Paul was writing chart hits, whilst Ringo was saying, "Come on, Thomas, let's all pull into the nearest pub and get absolutely bladdered." BBC News presenter Michael Burke gives a powerful commentary of the famine in Ethiopia. Bob Geldof is watching at home and calls his mate Midge to hatch a plan. The Brighton hotel bombing on the 12th of October, the IRA attempted to assassinate members of the government, including Margaret Thatcher. TV AM has insufficient news resources to cover the event adequately. They were more bothered about this rat. November and Alphaville's Forever Young is a massive hit everywhere in Europe, apart from the UK, where it makes number 98. How's that for Brexit? Not even a glorious German power pop anthem could smooth that one over. Channel 4 is now properly part of life. with the Tube feeling dangerously cool. 36 of Britain's pop stars crammed into a Notting Hill studio for Band Aid. The charity single was historic, but so was the silent Olympic sport of professional jealousy. You had chart toppers fighting over microphones, global icons pretending not to check who'd got the high note, and superstars smiling warmly whilst thinking, lovely cause, but why does he get the close-up? Don't they know it's Christmas? You buy the single. Everyone buys the single in December. Even dads who hate pop music buy the single. But where was Shakin' Stevens, Howard Jones, Freddie Mercury or Annie Lennox? In fact, why did no girls get to sing on Band Aid? Even Roland Rat appeared, didn't he? Christmas Day on BBC One features the debut of Noel Edmonds' regular Christmas show. He's obsessed with doing it from the top of London's Telecom Tower, because nothing says cosy family Christmas like vertigo, gale force winds, and Noel Edmonds dressed like a festive lighthouse keeper, beaming cheer across the capital. And finally, Wham's Last Christmas made its first appearance. The video for Last Christmas has George Michael gazing longingly around that ski chalet like he's heartbroken over one woman. But with hindsight, it plays out more like, last Christmas I gave you my heart, but honestly I was mainly distracted by your boyfriend and his excellent choice of knitwear. What's another year? 1984.